Okay, welcome back to my opinion. Um, this video is going to be about Trump's indictment. Here's the thing. I've got some liberal friends, and it's so weird, it's so odd. Liberals, when it comes to Trump, are just unbelievably, oddly, very weird, just extremely excited and full of just a hatred for Donald Trump that is really not natural. And usually, when you ask these folks, why do you dislike him so much? They can't even give you a straight answer. They can't explain their hatred. They just hate him. My wife is not a Trump fan. She does not like Trump. And she will flat out say she doesn't like him because he's egotistical and she doesn't like his personality. That's fine. It's nothing wrong with that. He does have an ego. Most of us who actually voted for and like Trump will admit that. But that's a flaw that I can live with compared to who's in office now, Joe Biden. I mean, come on. But yeah, they've already, people who hate Trump, the anti-Trumpers, liberals, your CNN, MSNBC only watchers, just simply hate the man so much. They want him convicted without a trial. I mean, they have already decided he's guilty. They don't care. Despite, all of the previous things like the Mueller report, all the peeing on the hookers in Russia, all of these things that turned out to be totally false, made up, just full of crap stories to try to defame him, hoping that some voters will just say, oh, I can't vote for that. But luckily for Trump and for the country, most people are able to look beyond that. We realize what's going on. Just like the January 6th thing. We know what that really was. There was a bunch of dumbasses who did some dumbass things and should have been prosecuted and are. Not to the extent of what they are. Most of them have already served more time waiting for their trial than they would have been sentenced for the piddly-andly crimes that they did. And the only person, just like all the, security was killed, and no, they weren't. Some of those guys died of a heart attack after. They probably would have died of a heart attack regardless of that. The only person who died was that woman who was one of the protesters and was shot through the door by one of the Secret Service guys because he had his finger on the trigger of a Glock when he knows he shouldn't have. But even like that, he's heralded by the left as a hero. He shot an unarmed woman through a door. That's not a hero. But with Trump, it's just an odd, weird fascination that they have, a hatred that is just, I mean, with some of these folks, including a couple of our friends, if you even mention the name Trump, oh, I hope he goes to prison. He's such a racist. And then when you ask them, well, what's he done that's so racist? They can't tell you because they're only repeating what CNN or something says with no facts whatsoever. Just like the Mueller report. That dragged on forever, for months. And in the end, it was just pushed away, unlike Joe Biden's son's laptop and things like that. Plenty of evidence and proof for that. Physical evidence and proof, which did disappear, by the way. But yeah, it's so weird that they have such a hatred for this guy. Does he have a lot of flaws? Sure he does. Is he an asshole? He might be. Is he a little on the overboard side, running his mouth? Yeah. But you know what else he did? He really put a lot of pride back in America. He was great for the economy. He was great for a lot of things. He wasn't perfect by no means, and he has to be watched, just like any other politician has to be watched carefully. But back to the main purpose of this video with Trump, the indictment, the recent indictment. Again, here we are. Guess what's going to happen? Take a wild guess. Most of you who are watching this video already know. Same thing as the Mueller report. It's baseless, it's bullshit, it's just another way to try to get him on something. Tax evasion. Before. Remember the tax evasion thing? Turns out that was bullshit too. Mueller report, etc., so on and so forth. Hookers with P and blah, blah, blah in Russia, whatever. Russia, remember the Russian... he was working with Russia and all that, and turns out that really was Joe Biden and his son working with Ukraine and China. But yeah, it's just baseless. This indictment is just a means to defame him because they know they can't beat him. Oh, you say, well, they beat him once. Did they? Did they really? Do you really believe that this crippled old, senile old man, Joe Biden, who stayed in the basement most of the time during the election when he was running, won the highest number, even beat Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, even Donald Trump? And I don't believe that. That doesn't seem reasonable. It seems a little sketchy. But yeah, here's what's going to happen with Donald Trump. Let's cut this off. Here's what's going to happen. Nothing. He's not going to go to prison. An indictment just means you have to show up to court, basically, so that they can go through the trial bullshit again, like the Mueller report, and it'll peter out. It'll be gone and be over with, and CNN will go on about how he got off again. He's the master of getting away with murder, because it's baseless. It's bullshit, and it's just another way to try to defame him before the election and hope they can lose as many votes as they can on Trump. But anyway,